Starvation mode is this notion or this belief that quote unquote not eating enough will drastically slow your metabolism and basically prevent you from losing weight. Have you ever heard a client say that? Like they say, I'm just not eating enough. My metabolism's messed up. I can't lose weight, right? Sort of like this person you see on the screen. So is that really true? What is that really happening? Can someone not eat enough and not lose weight, right? So I think one of the best examples is if we look at the Minnesota starvation experiment. And this was a really popular clinical study on the physiological and psychological impact of starvation. It was conducted around World War II, and scientists really wanted to figure out how they could treat individuals coming back from the war or when the war ended, and trying to rehab them from being forced under periods of starvation. So what these scientists did was they recruited 36 healthy male volunteers, and they basically spent a year at the University of Minnesota being intentionally starved for the good of mankind and furthering the area of research around treating people who had undergone starvation. And so the research protocol was they spent actually 3 months eating a normal diet around 3,200 calories a day. And once again, these were healthy male volunteers. And then they spent the next 6 months on a semi-starvation diet. And so they, drastically reduced their calories, as you can see, close to 1,600 calories a day, so that they were forced to lose 25% of their initial body weight within that 6 months. And those calories were continually adjusted for weight loss. They also had to do a certain amount of walking and labor, just like people, having a normal job throughout the day. And then that was followed with 3 months of refeeding and rehabilitation. So that was the essence of how the study was conducted. So the results, when people were intentionally starved and put in a calorie deficit, were this. So this guy on the left-hand side, that's after his 24th week or after 6 months of starvation, what he looked like. As you can see, he's skin and bones. And his weight loss was 24.5%, right? And then during the recovery period is the image on the right. So when they fed him his maintenance calories, he actually regained that weight. So you can see during starvation, what happens to the human body in a calorie deficit for 6 months of not eating enough, so to speak. More results. These are 2 other men who were in the study, and it's the same thing. Okay, they basically were skin and bones at the end of the 6 months of starvation. So what comes to mind? What's sort of the take-home point here? Really, what do you kind of think? Well, starvation mode really isn't what a lot of people think it is, right? Weight loss stalls because the deficit no longer exists, not because of starvation, a messed up metabolism, or not eating enough. And there's a lot of research in the area addressing metabolism and trying to figure out people's metabolisms or genetic shifts sort of occurred over the past few decades that cause obesity.